Second edition of IU Field Hockey Weekly underway alongside videographer Juliana Sherry. I'll be joined by coach Amanda Janney and first-year goalkeeper Noëlle Rother. We'll recap a game at Michigan State, and they hosted the #1 team in the country. And we'll preview their next slate of games, 2 Big Ten battles, all that and more. Keep it locked right here.
Indiana fight!
So, Coach, traveling to East Lansing, a 3-2 loss is not something you wanted to see. How hard is it after an overtime loss to kind of keep the morale up in the locker room?
Sure. I think the Michigan State game was a good one for us in terms of our fight in the second half. I thought the team did a really good job to get back in the game and send it to overtime. And it wasn't our best game, but there were still a lot of good things that came out of it in our pass pattern. So we were able to kind of take the positives and move forward to our next game.
One of the positives, Maddie Latino, who we had on last week, she had 2 great goals in that game, then one in the next game, which we'll dive into in a minute or so. Assess how big Latino has been for the squad.
Yeah, it was great to see her respond because she came off the bench actually. So to rise up to that challenge, to come off as into the game a few minutes in and really respond and score 2 diving goals where she had to put that extra effort in to make sure that ball went in the back of the net. It was really good to see her step up for us, and we need that leadership as a sophomore, that she's scoring goals for us, and she's becoming a very dependable scorer.
Maddie, only a sophomore, Noëlle, obviously only a freshman. Before we kind of dive into your play at Michigan State, I'm curious, you had a few options in the States of where to play. Why IU?
I think it was like the university as a whole. It was like different factors that really convinced me, like my visit in December. Then the campus was really convincing for me, and especially the sport facilities, like the whole support you get as an athlete here, and yeah, I really like that.
And speaking of support, your defense seemed to support you in a way at Michigan State. Only 1 save at Michigan State. Talk about how the defense was in East Lansing.
Yeah, I think they did a good job. Like you said, I just got like 2 or 3 shots. So I think like in the season, like we developed very well. The structure was better, and we're like communicating better. And so I think the communication of the job is very good structure.
That was the second Big Ten loss for IU. You had a quick turnaround after, and it certainly wasn't an easy opponent. The East Lansing game in Michigan at Michigan State came on Friday. 48 hours later, IU hosted the #1 team in the nation, Syracuse. Just talk about the experience and how that game was a little bit.
Yeah, it was great to play such a talented competitor. Syracuse being ranked #1 and being undefeated and being able to score so many goals against their previous opponents. It was an exciting game for us because we needed to get things turned around and get playing better. So for us to have to play such a fast-paced game against the #1 team in the nation, I thought our team really responded and stepped into the challenge. That we had a great game against them in terms of our level of play, the speed of play, and we had just a fantastic second half where the score in the second half was 1-1.
A lot of coaches tend to go back and forth on the whole moral victory thing, and are there such thing as moral victories? IU hosting the #1 team in the nation, positive game, a lot of positives could come out of that game. Where do you draw the line between not being satisfied with a loss but a moral victory? And can this past game be considered a moral victory?
Well, we're never happy with a loss. I think we're all competitors and we want to win every game. But with a team like that they have some really talented players and they had a great game. They played well to earn the victory over us. But we do walk away with a lot of positives. I thought our team, defensively, they handled a lot of shots, and Noëlle had an amazing game. She was all over the place. Sydney Subika made 3 defensive saves to help us keep that ball in the net. Kate Barber had another fantastic game that she's just been a really strong leader for us in the backfield. So for our defense to be able to handle that much pressure, it just prepares us and makes us better for our future games.
And Subika had very high words to say about you, Noëlle, after the game. Really praised the way you play and your work ethic. You had 11 saves in this game against Syracuse, against the #1 team in the nation. How hard, not just playing against Syracuse, but being a freshman and really being put in the spotlight, how hard has that been for you? Have you faced a lot of pressure here at IU?
Like games against Syracuse, I'm really excited for their games because I know that a goalkeeper is really needed in that game, and that will face more shots. And like, yeah, how I said already, that I'm pretty excited, and that, yeah, I always try to do my best and have fun at what I'm doing.
And Coach mentioned there were some positives that could be taken out of that game against Syracuse, a very physical game. What are some positives, or what's a positive that you saw coming against Syracuse that maybe could help you guys moving forward?
Yeah, I think we had a lot of confidence from other top games, like against Northwestern or Iowa. We had a lot of confidence, like we won these games, and like Stanford, we had a good game against them as well. And I think, we knew that we can do well against good teams.
3-game losing streak is what IU's currently riding, now below 500. Does IU change anything, Coach, going forward, or are you still sticking with kind of the similar identity and similar lineups?
We've been changing our lineup almost every game just to we have so many talented players on our team. It's a hard decision every game, but I think for us, when we start someone, the player who comes off the bench actually competes and earns that starting spot right back. So I think for us, the depth in our lineup has been really good, that we have different people stepping up. Our freshman class, they're doing outstanding, competing for playing time. I think kind of moving forward, we don't love the record, but every weekend we're getting so much better. We're really making a lot of improvements in our game, so I know we're going to be really ready for this weekend coming up.
IU 6-7 will have a chance to improve that this weekend with 2 Big Ten battles. The first one coming on the road Friday in Columbus. They'll look to improve that road record while they look to keep the upbeat pace at home Sunday versus Penn State. For videographer Juliana Sherry, Coach Amanda Janney, and freshman goalkeeper from Germany, Noëlle Rother, I'm Brian Singer. We'll see you next time.